Why is everyone on social media obsessed with hitting the first crore in financial asset? It's a massive, intimidating number that sits quietly in the minds of most investors, often feeling impossible to achieve. This specific figure is a vital milestone because it represents the point where your wealth truly begins to explode. Today, we are going to break down why that first crore is the hardest to earn, the exact math you need to reach it, and the strategies to ensure your next journey from 1 to 10 or even 20 is much faster. So, today we are going to learn only about this, the compound interest formula. Now, there are three variables here that we'll try to optimize. The first one is P, the amount of money that you save or invest. Second is the R, the returns that you get. And the third one is N, the number of years that you stay invested. Let's start with your principal, the amount of money that you save and invest. This is something which is totally in your control. But let's be honest. How much do you think about this versus how much do you think about R, which is the rate of return, which is not really in your control? So where do you spend your time on? Is it on increasing returns or is it on maximizing the money that you invest? And the decision framework is simple. If the profits from your portfolio is greater than your yearly SIP, then you start spending time on managing your portfolio and taking it seriously. But before that, focus on increasing your savings rate. So take this example. Your portfolio is worth 2 lakhs. The returns that you get is 10%, but your monthly savings are 15,000 rupees. So your profit from your portfolio is about 20,000 annually, whereas the SIP, yearly SIP is about 1.8 lakhs. Your profit is much lower than the yearly SIP. So at this stage, focus on increasing your earning. Now let's take another example. Now your portfolio size becomes 1.5 crores. The returns that you are making from this portfolio is about 10% and your monthly savings are about 1.2 lakhs per month. In this case, profit from your portfolio is about 15 lakhs, whereas your yearly savings in SIP is about 14.4 lakhs. So in this case, the profit becomes larger than your yearly SIP. That's the time to start focusing on your portfolio. So when you're starting out, every hour spent agonizing over whether to invest in fund A or fund B yields far less value than an hour spent developing skills that could increase your income. And how do you increase your income? Pick up a side project, freelance writing, teaching, or consulting gig. Pursue further education, MBAs, certifications, online courses, or try and climb the corporate ladder. Aim for promotions, bigger mandates, or leadership roles. That's where you've got to spend your time on early in your career. The crux is income and wealth are highly related. You can't become rich without increasing your income. It also becomes clear when you look at this chart. Here a person is saving 1 lakh per year and increasing his savings by 10%. In the beginning years, your savings dominate, but in the later years, profit from your investments become far larger than what you are saving. So the question is how much one should save. There is no one size fits all in finance. Personal finance is personal. Everyone has different needs, goals, and expenses. A fixed rule like saving 20% or 40% income doesn't really fit every situation. Your ideal savings rate depends on your income stability, your life stage, and financial responsibilities. So the best rule becomes save what you can. Next, let's talk about lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, spending tends to grow proportionally or faster. This is called lifestyle creep. For example, earlier your dream was to buy a car worth say 6 lakhs. Now after 10 years of working, you want a car that's worth about 30 lakhs. The solution is the 50% rule. When you get a raise or a bonus, save or invest 50% immediately and enjoy the other 50% guilt-free. So let's take this example. Your current salary is 6 lakhs per annum and you're saving about 10,000 per month. So your savings rate is 20%. You get 2 lakh per annum raise. So about 16,000 per month. So your new savings become 10,000 plus 50% of your increased income, which comes out to be total about 18,000. Now your savings rate become about 27% and you have increased your spending by about 8,000 per month. Your SIP actually goes up by 83%. And why this works? You don't feel deprived. Your lifestyle is actually improving. Your savings rate increases over time and you stay on track for your long-term goals. And there is no guilt about treating yourself. Now let's talk about the time it takes for you to reach that goal of 1 crore. As you can see from this chart, if you're saving about 20,000 per month, it will take about 12 years for you to reach that first crore milestone. Versus if somebody is saving 50,000 per month, for him it will take about 7.5 years. The assumptions here are that the portfolio is growing at about 12% per annum and your SIPs are also growing at 10% annually. But the road to your next crore is that much more easier. So for this example, if somebody is saving 20,000, his first crore takes about 12 years, but the second crore takes only 4 years. And the third crore, you are able to reach in only 3 years. Now, a few thoughts about long-term investing. Only a small portion of MF money is truly long-term. And long-term, I mean at least 5 years. So only about 16% of total mutual fund AUM has been invested for 5 years or more. And now let's look at the holding period of 5 years by plan type. So regular or advised funds are able to hold 21% of their assets for 5 years or longer, whereas direct funds are able to hold just about less than 8% of the AUM. Let's also look at the SIP AUM with tenure. Regular plan SIP, 30% of them are able to continue for 5 years or longer, whereas the direct plan SIPs are just about 17%. So the point here being, a good advisor helps you stay in the game longer. So as per research, a good advisor can add anywhere between 1.5 to 3% annualized to your portfolio over long run. So over a decade, it becomes anywhere between 20 to 40% additional returns. Let's talk about the rate of return now. Morgan Housel, in his book Psychology of Money, said something that deeply resonated with me. He said, if you understand the math behind compounding, you realize the most important question is not how can I earn the highest returns? It's what are the best returns I can sustain for the longest period of time? Little changes compounded for a long time creates extraordinary changes. Instead of thinking which fund can give me the highest returns this year, think which is the portfolio that I can stay invested for the next 10 years. And to get answer to that question, take a risk profiling survey and decide on your asset allocation based on your risk appetite, your risk need, and your risk ability. Now let's see what an average investor is able to make over long run. Over a 20-year period to December 2024, the average equity fund investor earned about 9.24% per year. Compare this to about 10.35% per year for the S&P 500. This shows sustained underperformance over long periods. Now let's get into the reasons why an average investor is unable to make even the index returns. Let's talk about timing the market, because this is one mistake that costs investors crores. Most people believe if I enter at the right time and exit at the top, I reach my first crore faster. It sounds smart, but it rarely works. Why? Because market timing requires you to be right twice. You must exit before the fall and you re-enter before the recovery. Miss either one and your returns take a big hit. And here's the reality. The best days in market usually comes very close to the worst days. When the fear is highest, people sell. But the market often recovers before the confidence returns. So investors wait for clarity and end up entering after the gains are already gone. Let me be very clear. Timing the market doesn't reduce risk. It reduces returns. In real life, investors don't fail because they lack intelligence. They fail because they are human. They sell after bad news and they buy after good news again and again. Now let me highlight another silent wealth destroyer, excessive churn. Investors simply don't stay the course. Look at this data. The average holding period for Indian mutual fund investor today is just about 2.2 years. 10 years ago, it was 3.3 years. So even as products have improved, information has increased, patience has gone down. Now compare this with real estate. The average holding period there is about 9.5 years. Same investor, different behavior. So why is this? It's because real estate doesn't give you daily NAVs, headlines, WhatsApp forwards, or TV debates. Mutual funds do. And that constant noise creates an illusion that something must be done all the time. But we all know, wealth is not created by activity. It's created by inactivity. Frequent switching, stopping SIPs, changing funds, reacting to news, all of this breaks compounding. And compounding needs time and consistency, not constant decisions. You cannot expect long-term wealth from assets if holding period mindset is shorter than a business cycle. This is why many investors invest for decades but compound only for a few years at a time. To reach your first goal, the biggest edge is not information or intelligence. It's the ability to ignore noise and stay invested. The market rewards patience and not movement. Those who stay the course win quietly.